Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
We take a look at how school zones may become safer.
The drivers are very crazy around the school zone. Unfortunately, they drive way too fast.
The University of Alberta is looking at cutting a portion of their current spending.
See, the moment that you say the words bringing international students as well as raising money, I get concerned.
Edmonton officially welcomes a new mayor and city council.
Now let's get to work building this great city.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. The province is taking aim at drivers who speed through school zones.
The idea is to make things safer for young people and to lessen confusion for drivers. Morgan Black has more on this story.
Parents have expressed their concern over cars speeding through school zones, and the province hopes to bring less confusion and something to this issue.
Point! Ready to proceed?
I know.
Proceed!
Tracy Gray has two little boys currently enrolled in Bellamy E. Baker School, one in grade 2 and the other in kindergarten. She drops them off every day and walks the crosswalk with them. She, like many parents, has been teaching them crosswalk safety since they have been able to walk. She has seen firsthand that local traffic often speeds through school and playground zones, as well as designated crosswalks.
And it can be really terrifying as a parent. Buses drive very quickly through here.
A new provincial-wide legislation comes 1 month after the death of a grade 2 student in St. Albert after crossing the crosswalk on his way to school. He was struck and killed by a school bus making a right-hand turn. Amendments will give municipalities the authority to modify the time period in which speed restrictions in playground zones are in effect. Following passage of legislation, the alignment of playground and school zone hours will make for less confusion for drivers and a safer area for kids. The provincial government is dedicated to further improving school zone areas.
It's all about the safety of the kids and the requirement to have local decision making to enable that. So we're going to give the municipalities that authority.
This new legislation is a step towards safer school and playground areas, but ultimately the decision to slow down in order to keep kids safe comes from the person behind the wheel.
Remember, it's a school zone and a playground zone, and just slow down anytime you're driving through.
The new legislation aims to be fully implemented in time for the new school year in 2014.
Is Minister McIver looking to implement more laws to keep kids safe by roads?
Yeah, another huge issue is texting while driving, so he's looking to increase demerit points as well as the fines for that.
While on scene, were the majority of cars speeding through or were they going the speed limit?
What I noticed the most was that cars would speed through the school zone and then slow down just as they got to the crosswalk. So with winter on its way and the icy roads, it's just not going to cut it. So the main thing to remember is slow down anytime you're in a school zone.
Thank you, Morgan. That was our Morgan Black reporting.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
Post-secondary cutbacks at the University of Alberta may soon have an impact on who gets into school and where faculties get their funding.
The U of A is taking a hard look at traditional sources of revenue. Our Cody Davidson is covering the story and joins us from the University of Alberta.
Now, the university isn't sure exactly how this is going to pan out. Many options have been in consideration, starting with the cutting of almost every program's individual budget.
The U of A looks to cut 6 to 7.5%, totaling $56 million from their current spending. The science department, being one of the most affected, will have to cut almost $7 million. At the U of A this week, revenue generation was the focus of the General Facilities Council, and all options were on the table.
I think we're all looking for solutions, and there's a range of things that Martin has talked about. We're all going to have to push on those solutions.
Other options the university have looked at include having programs generate their own income for the school, contract research, and increase the amount of international students accepted.
International students should not be used as a cash cow to fund the revenue of our institutions. If we're bringing them here, it should be for the sole purpose of educating them, not to take their money.
NAIT, being a technical institution, has had external funding from private companies for years, another option the U of A is considering.
We right now are in a publicly funded institution where 75% roughly of the education is funded by the government. Only 25% is what the student pays.
For those looking for their voice to be heard on the matter, you can post ideas on the budget and vote on existing ideas at www.change.ualberta.ca.
The General Faculty Council say that if faculties can't come up with an innovative way to generate revenue, students looking to apply at the university may have more competition next year. Cody Davidson, NAIT NewsWatch.
With the expected increase of students in the next few years, there may be trouble ahead for school systems. The government's recent $14.5 billion cut from Alberta's school budget is starting to become an issue for Albertan schools. Kids Not Cuts is an organization that is pushing to restore money in hopes of bringing funding back to schools.
I think that it should come back to the schools in increase to the base funding, and then individual boards and schools will be able to use the money where they know best, where they see the biggest need.
If funding is brought to Alberta schools, it will be used to keep up with the increasing number of students attending and to give them the best education possible.
Alberta school boards are fearing the development of new schools will be delayed. With a lack of public and private bidders, some Alberta school boards are concerned the province will be unable to deliver on its promise of 19 new schools within the next 3 years. Over 86,000 students are now registered in Edmonton Public Schools, increasing from 3,000 the previous year. Since last year, Edmonton Catholic schools grew by over 1,800 students. With the recent growth of students in Alberta, our province is in need of more schools.
It's really important that we do get these 2 new schools built there. You know, there's a great need for them, and you know, we're very hopeful and confident that they'll be ready to open in 2016 to take students.
The Alberta Public School Boards are remaining hopeful that the construction of the new schools will stay on schedule and be open by 2016.
Earlier this week, Premier Alison Redford unveiled the provincial government's fall agenda. Redford discussed how the government's Building Alberta plan is helping to build a better and stronger province. The Building Alberta plan is focused on investing in families and communities, living within our means, and opening new markets for our resources.
And we'll ensure that we can help business. As we move forward, these are the foundations of how we will build this province.
This fall's session priorities include flood recovery bill, decreasing traffic congestion, protecting Alberta's environment, and organ and tissue donation registry. With the fall's newly placed priorities, Redford hopes to build a better Alberta.
The second youngest mayor in Edmonton's history was sworn in on Tuesday. After receiving 62% of the votes, Don Iveson was officially sworn into council as mayor, along with the new and returning council members. In his first remarks as mayor, Don Iveson restated the themes of his election campaign, including LRT expansion, urban intensification, and fixing roads and drainage systems.
We all need a city that works. Our most pressing priority is our infrastructure, roads, pipes, and sidewalks.
The ceremony also featured a musical act and a drum performance. The event concluded with the first council meeting of the term for the newly elected councillors.
The Sexual Exploitation Working Group revealed its dirty little secret. On Monday morning, the Sexual Exploitation Working Group unveiled their Dirty Little Secret campaign. Local filmmakers Michael Clayton and Brady Shearer introduced a short film, Dirty Little Secret, that highlights the issue of sexual exploitation in Edmonton. The goal of the campaign is to raise awareness through a social media campaign, sharing the short film and messages about sexual exploitation and sex trafficking in our city.
The City of Edmonton and the Edmonton Police Service, working with the Sexual Exploitation Group, are poised collectively to make a significant difference in the lives of those who are sexually exploited in our city.
To find out more about the campaign, follow the Sexual Exploitation Working Group on Facebook and Twitter, #YegSecret.
The Edmonton Police Service K-9 unit hosted a public appreciation event to thank the community for all their support. Last weekend, the Edmonton Police Service K-9 unit hosted a public appreciation and educational event to thank the public directly for all those who have shown support since the death of service dog Quanto. Quanto is the 5th police service dog the K-9 unit has lost since the formation of the unit in 1967. Several officers and their service dogs were on hand to meet with the public and demonstrate the work they do on a daily basis.
The main purpose of this was to say thank you to everybody. Since October 7th, when we lost Quanto, the support that we've received has been astonishing.
The Edmonton Police Service is considering making an annual appreciation event in honor of Quanto.
Many women have cravings while pregnant and may consume a lot of food. What you may not know is that these foods may do more harm than good. Expectant women may be consuming excess calories, which means that the extra weight may be harder to lose after childbirth.
When they gain more weight during pregnancy, this increases their risk of pregnancy complications. It's not very good for their baby in the long term, and it's also really challenging for women to lose that weight after pregnancy is over.
Researchers received a $2.5 billion grant from Alberta Innovates Health Solutions to go towards pregnancy research. During a local mother's recent pregnancy, she experienced weight gain and is happy that attention is being brought towards this issue.
The research that we need to do is to try to figure out how we can advise and counsel women during pregnancy so that we don't gain excessive amounts of weight.
Researchers hope to develop new strategies that will help women maintain a healthy weight during pregnancy.
An uncommon form of energy is hoping to make a big impact on our province. Last Saturday, a presentation was held by GridWorks Energy Incorporation. The main focus of this event was to discuss and inform the public about the use of solar energy. All aspects were discussed, but most relevant are the benefits of solar energy.
Here in Edmonton or in Alberta, you can easily save hundreds of dollars per year.
Alberta is a good candidate when it comes to solar panel systems due to cheap, cost, and good weather. Solar panel systems are not yet common in Alberta because people are either uneducated or misinformed about them. These systems are likely to be seen on many Alberta roofs in the future due to their return on investment and benefits.
There are many holidays that people celebrate every year, but one has a spooky feel to it that people are spending a lot of money on.
Who is this? This is the last person you're ever going to see alive.
Many people go all out for Halloween every year. The Springsteads are no exception. In a South End Edmonton neighborhood, a haunted dungeon resides. Inside, you'll find homemade scary creatures and things that will take you by surprise. The Springstead couple are wise when it comes to Halloween spending.
A little cheaper and it lasts quite a while actually, so try to stay away from the big ticket items or whatever.
Canadians will spend over an average of $1.5 billion per year on Halloween, making it one of the most expensive shopping seasons next to Christmas and back to school.
And that breaks down per person to around about $75 per Canadian family.
The Southside Halloween House was open to the public for the evening of Halloween and did not disappoint with their array of decorations.
Coming up on NAIT NewsWatch, fans have been awaiting to see a god rise again.
Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman star in the raging sequel, Thor: The Dark World.
I gave you my word. I would return for you.
Hang around for sports as I meet Bobby Orr and the Alberta curling team.
Don't forget to roll your clocks back, and weather will be rolled back as well. All that coming up in weather.
It's been a beautiful fall season so far, but it looks like it's coming to an end this weekend.
Yeah, our Andre Durocher joins us outside for weather. Is winter finally here, Andre?
It's finally coming, ladies. Yep, we can be expecting the cooler temperatures this weekend. All right, so starting with Calgary, we can be expecting a low of -5 and a high of -1, 60% chances of light snow and winds. Looking to have about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. The wind coming in from the north will make it feel like it's around -7. In Jasper, we can expect a low of -7 and a high of -2, 60% chances of flurries with a heavy snowfall. Looking to have around 30 centimeters of snow. Perfect for those who are wanting to hit the slopes on opening weekend. In Fort McMurray, we can be expecting a low of -8 and a high of -3. Partly cloudy, chances of rain, possibly turning into snow with the cooler temperatures. In Edmonton, it's a -3 for the low and a 0 for the high. Periods of snow throughout the day. Expect 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. The seasonal averages for this time of year is a low of -7 and a high of 3. The record low is -23 in 1919, and the record highs +20 in 1949.
Weather sponsored by NR92, the station for the students.
So it's definitely cooler temperatures than the norms this year, so definitely bring out your winter jackets. It's also, you can also roll back your clocks 1 hour and get that extra hour of sleep in.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that this weekend. I'm looking forward to sleeping in and staying inside, and making sure I'm not, in the cold.
Yeah, me too. I'll definitely be staying inside this weekend and keeping warm.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Andre. Now our Jeffrey Howard joins us in sports. So Jeff, this week one of the best hockey players ever is in Edmonton?
Yeah, that's right. We have that and more coming up. But first we have women's hockey. The NAIT women's hockey team is currently ranked first in the ACAC standings, and their first opponent of the season was against the St. Trojans. The game started off with the Ukes having control of the puck for most of the period, but the Trojans get one in near the end of the period. Going into the second period, St. has the lead, but only for a while before the Ukes get their first goal of the game from Jamie Felder. The Ukes keep up the pressure as they get their second goal of the game courtesy of Rentana Mashta. The third period got a little rough at some points, and the game-winning goal was shot by Caroline Reeve, who also won the Player of the Game award. The final score was 3-1 for the Ukes.
I think going into tomorrow, we don't look to make any major adjustments. We're just going to look to improve what we did today. One area that we are focused on being better in is turnovers. We don't want to give up the puck so much.
The Ukes play again against St. again last Saturday and won with a 3-1 for them. This past Monday, hockey legend Bobby Orr held a book signing for his new book, Orr, My Story. Hockey fans young and old flocked to West Edmonton Mall last Monday to get the autobiography of one of the best defensive players in NHL history, Bobby Orr. Fans had many different places where they could get their own copy of the book during the signing, and lots of them were thrilled to be there.
Oh, what are you talking about? It's the chance of a lifetime. I've idolized him since I was a kid.
Some fans have been waiting for their signed book since 1 p.m. that day, and they didn't even think it was a waste of their time at all.
And I would have waited twice as long.
During the signing, Bobby even took time to go off stage to meet with some people who were in wheelchairs, and also didn't mind everyone taking photos of him. With the end of the Dominion Curling Club Provincial Championships, Alberta now has its provincial team. The St. Albert Curling team that consists of Lauren Jenkins, Kathy Piper, Laurie Scanser, and Deanna Backer won the right of being Alberta's representatives in the Curling Nationals. That happens in November 18th to 23rd. The whole team is very proud of what they were able to achieve.
It feels really good. We're all really proud, and we're all super excited to represent Alberta and our club.
Until national start, the team hopes to have several more practice games before they leave for Fort Williams Curling Club in Thunder Bay, Ontario in a few weeks. This week for an End Zone Challenge, I decided to give rock climbing a try. I went over to Vertical Inclined in order to learn about rock climbing. There I learned there are 3 different types of climbing called bouldering, top roping, and lead climbing. But I just stayed with top roping. Top roping requires 2 people for it, a climber and an anchor. The anchor makes sure that the rope is safe for the climber, and they even have a special way of doing it.
Punch, break, and then slide.
The anchor also makes sure that if you fall, that you don't fall that far. Though with me, they don't have to worry a lot. I'm just glad that you don't need to train too hard for rock climbing, or I would have never been able to do it.
Well, you don't need any training really if you want to just come in and drop in. We can show anybody how to get going on the walls and get started, and then there are lots of different levels of things that you can do.
Though my biggest problem that I had during this was my fear of heights kicking in every once in a while, and it was even worse when I looked down. Okay, I'm getting a little freaked out here, Dexter. Luckily for me, I was able to put my fears beneath me, and I was able to climb to the very top of the wall, even though the wall was meant for the kids that go there.
We get everybody. We usually start our lessons at 5 years old, but we get people dropping in with kids younger than that who just want to get their kids, starting, and we get people up into senior citizens. So.
So after all that, I would say that rock climbing is something I would try again in the future.
Looks like you got a great workout there, Jeff.
Yeah, I did, and it was great.
What would you say was your favorite part?
I'd say it was all my favorite part, except for when my fear of heights kicked in.
Did you make it to the very top?
Once, on the kiddie wall.
Well, that's good at least. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Coming up after the break, Rachel and I joined a great cause to help those less fortunate.
And a luncheon was held to raise money for Edmonton's food bank.
On us building hampers and answering phones and supporting individuals, and this is one of our key fundraisers in the fall in support of the organization. Check out what's steaming up in entertainment this week as I visit a new cafe that brings the love of board games to life, and I go on a ghostly tour.
Haircut and color provided by Ivory Noir, Edmonton's first color correction salon.
Rachel and I joined an Edmonton charity for lunch Wednesday morning in support of a good cause.
The Edmonton Food Bank hosted their annual fall luncheon to thank Edmontonians for their support.
On Wednesday, the Edmonton Food Bank held their annual harvest luncheon, where an auction took place with all proceeds going towards supporting the food bank. Rachel and I had a chance to help out around the building and to see how much good comes from volunteering.
Food Bank, we're just one organization, and we partner and work with more than 200 different agencies, churches, and food depots to get the food out to the public, get the food out into the community.
Anyone can volunteer at the food bank, and a little help goes a long way. The food bank is always accepting donations, not just food, but household items as well, such as baby-related items and hygiene products. Donations can be dropped off weekdays from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
On any given day, a stroll down White Avenue may have you meeting some interesting characters. However, we learn about a ghostly tour that brings to life the spirits of the past.
And a movie with beauty and bronze. Nicole Murphy has more in entertainment.
Mysterious, bizarre, and strange stories are happening closer to you than you may think.
And died in this building in 1915.
Edmonton Ghost Tours offers an interactive, thrilling way to learn about the spooky history of Old Strathcona. Filled with the true accounts of murders, ghost sightings, and creepy events, the walking tour attracted over 100 people a night last week.
Like hearing about the history, knowing that it's true, that was really cool.
A lot of it comes from history, a lot of it comes from me doing the actual research in the archives. But I always tell people my best stories come from people who come on the tour and then tell me their stories and say, you know, hey, I used to work here, I used to live here. And then that's how I'm always getting new stories. And I'm guaranteed a story.
The walking tours wrap up for the winter months, but we'll be back in the spring. For more information, check out edmontonghosttours.com. A unique cafe has just opened up in Edmonton that hopes to make what's old new again, bringing the love of the game night to a social setting.
Tabletop Cafe offers you the chance to have a night out on the town and play some board games. A first in the city, the cafe is equipped with large tables, a wall of games, and a delicious menu.
On the whole, I like the idea of board games becoming a much more popular pastime. Like, I enjoy them so much, and I know they have a lot to offer.
The cafe has used and new games, so if you try out a game you love, you can purchase it on the spot.
You feel like you're staying at home, you can feel like you're going out with friends. When you're here, you're going out with your friends and meeting in a public place, but you have the stay-at-home feel to it.
Hello.
The Tabletop Cafe hopes to get people reconnecting with those who are sitting right in front of them with interactive games, and perhaps with some new events coming up, getting you to meet some new people.
There's so much stuff like computers and everything every day. It's kind of nice just to play a game of cards or a board game, just kind of relax, unwind.
With a wide variety of game options and a knowledgeable staff, you might even try something new.
It's a good place to interact socially, meet new people. Even on opening night, I had ended up sticking groups of couples together, and they just made friends just like that.
For more information about upcoming events and tournaments, check out tabletopcafe.ca.
All you superhero fans, get ready. The wait is over. Thor: The Dark World is about to hit the big screen.
After all this time, now you come to visit. teasing me, brother. Why? To mock. I need your help. But I wish I could trust you. If you did, you'd be the fool I always took you for.
When an ancient darkness threatens Earth and all 9 realms of the universe, Thor must reunite with Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, and his enemy brother Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, to fight off the common enemy.
I'll find a way to save us all.
Thor: The Dark World brings light to astonishing beauty, while also showing the devastation of destruction. Chris Hemsworth as Thor slams onto a big screen near you November 8th. And now I have a double guest pass for the advanced screening of Thor next week for the first person to tweet a picture of their favorite comic book character to @NAIT NewsWatch. A local photo studio is in search of some new models. No teeth necessary.
Yeah, I do lots of different outfits every year.
L&L Studios creates baby calendars for charitable organizations around the city. Raising around $12,000 last year for the Alberta Health Cancer Foundation, they hope to get more babies on board.
Well, I have family that has had instances with cancer and stuff, so it had that connection that you need to make you want to do it.
L&L Studios have recently joined up with Santa's Anonymous and are taking pictures now for next season's calendar. A baby crying is not an unusual sight, but in this week's viral video, you won't believe why one baby is moved to tears.
Mommy's gonna sing you a song.
A 10-month-old baby girl listening to her mother sing seems to be emotionally affected by the heartbreaking song.
So I let you in, knowing tomorrow I'm gonna wake up missing you, wake up missing you.
Absolutely adorable. Remember, if you want to get your double guest pass for Thor, tweet your favorite comic book character to @NAIT NewsWatch. That's it from entertainment.
Thor looks like a pretty action-packed movie. Are you going to be checking that out next weekend?
Yeah, I think I will. I've seen the first one. I thought it was pretty good, so why not, right?
Yeah, me too. Thanks for watching. You can follow us on Twitter @NAIT NewsWatch.
Or catch us online at naitnewswatch.ca. Have a great night.